All right, everybody, welcome back to another episode of the Slap the Ask show. Today, I believe we're on episode number 37, and we have Dylan and Dalton on the show today. They're the founders of PeakBot, which is an automated stock trading platform. So welcome to the show, guys. Glad to have you.
Happy to be here.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Excited to be chatting with you guys.
Yeah, welcome, guys. So thank you for the time. Can we just start off by getting some introductions, learning more about yourselves? Dalton, why don't you start off, and then Dylan, you can follow suit.
All right. So I am Dalton Del Rosso. I'm the little brother. We're both from New Jersey, northern New Jersey. I graduated with a finance degree from Fairleigh Dickinson University. I've been a trader since it was legal for me. You know, as soon as I turned 16, 17, 18, I was trading. I was a day trader and options trader all throughout college. Eventually, I got into algorithms about 2 years ago, which is the start of this PeakBot story. We'll get into that. And I haven't looked back. So that's what I've been doing these last 2 years, is coding strategies and staring at charts.
Nice.
Go ahead,
Excellent.
Bill.
Thanks, Dal. Yeah, so Dylan Del Rosso, one of the three co-founders of PeakBot. We have a third co-founder, Ben, who's not with us here tonight, but a little background on me. I went to school for sport management, so I'm not the finance guy. I've been a salesman in a ton of different industries. First in the world of athletics with the collegiate world with the University of Maryland, and then worked for the New York Jets as a manager of premium partnerships, selling their luxury suites, where the fans were less interested in the results on the field, which was nice. And then ultimately got out of the sports world with the pandemic. No more suites to sell. So present day, actually with ADP, the big payroll and HR company, but yeah, doing this early mornings, late nights, and I'm on the sales and marketing side, business development of PeakBot here. So yeah, we could certainly get more into what PeakBot is, but don't want to ramble. I have a tendency to do that.
Awesome. Thanks for the introduction, guys. I guess you must have, Dylan, a bit of an insight on the unemployment numbers being at ADP. I know they usually release them a little earlier since they got the payrolls there before the government does.
I'll tell you what, the one interesting stat that I've taken away is that, there's 5 generations in the workforce right now. And it's become almost impossible to try and manage 5 different generations who all want different things at different times for different reasons. So that's the one thing that I've carried with me. They do pay like 1 in 5 Americans. So it's crazy the amount. Talk about data. I think everybody on this call loves data. So do they. It's their middle name, literally. Yeah.
Straight up the D in ADP.
Dylan, are you working too, or are you doing PeakBot and trading full time now?
Yeah. Who, Dalton or Dylan? Myself or Dalton?
Dalton, I mean, sorry.
Yes.
Both of you can answer, yeah.
Yeah, so he's at ADP. I currently, now I live in South Dakota, but I'm licensed with health and life insurance in New Jersey. That's what our father does. He's been a broker for 30 years with his own business. So I help him out during the busy seasons. And I was a baseball coach before I moved. But I'm here in South Dakota where the rent is cheap and we're keeping this PeakBot dream going.
You fracking in your backyard in South Dakota? Or?
Not just yet.
All right, very cool. Well, thank you guys for the introductions. I guess let's just get in the meat and the potatoes of it all. One of you guys just explain PeakBot, what exactly it is. What was the reason you guys started it? What are you trying to solve?
Sure.
Get honest.
Excellent. So, Dal, I'll take the start here. You feel free to interrupt me. He has no problem doing that. I'm definitely more the layman's terms guy, whereas Ben and Dalton are more so where you guys can get nerdy. So, PeakBot started just over 2 years ago. So we are an LLC. We co-founded this fintech startup really with the idea to automate the stock trading process for the retail investor, aka the everyday person, right? We wanted to bridge this gap, right? If you guys, zoom out a little bit, we say this loosely, but the last people to trade without an algorithm in the market is the retail trader, right? So we wanted to find a way to provide a incredibly simple user experience with virtually no barrier to entry, while also providing you with some damn good bots, as we like to call them, which are all swing trading algorithms right now. We have equities bots. So right now, PeakBot, we launched just about 3 weeks ago. So we're fresh, but it's incredible. It's terrifying. It's awesome. And so we have a small group of subscribers off the jump here, and we're getting a lot of buzz around the product, and it's been a crazy ride. But a little bit into what started the business. I was in the sports industry, as I had mentioned. So for the first time selling jet suites, I had like real money. I was like, okay, let's do something with this before I do something stupid with it, right? So, you know, these fat commission checks, I go to my buddy Ben and I say, Ben, look, I don't know what I'm doing with my money. Him and Dalton were always well invested and knew what they were doing. I did not. And so I was finally like, help me out. Tell me what to do here. And he's like, Ben was like, hey, look, I'll take a look at things for you. You think you can sell something for me? Now, if you guys decided to have us back on the call on the podcast at some point and Ben was here, he might tell the story a little differently. But he says, look, he's a CPA, so he's with PricewaterhouseCoopers. So he's got some heavy work weeks on him, and he taught himself how to code these stock trading algorithms at night, you know, over the last 2 to 3 years, because he needed to automate it. He was a trader through college like Dalton was, and now didn't have the time to stare at the charts all day. So wanted to automate that process, taught himself how to code these algorithms. And then I quickly jumped in. I said, is anybody else really doing this? And if they are they doing it the right way? And we found out pretty quickly that nobody was. Enter Dalton. We get Dalton on board immediately because he's a little finance freak. And Dalton learned how to code these algorithms in a matter of, I don't know, Dalton, like 5 or 6 weeks. You and Ben just went on a crash course. And like Dalton said, we haven't looked back. So we're integrated with TD Ameritrade, the largest retail brokerage in the country. When we say integrated, what we mean is our bots. That's where our bots are doing the buying and selling. And one thing to clarify is that our bots are kind of taking this next step past the signal provider. You're not getting an alert that it's time to buy or that it's time to sell, which is great and all. That's only half the equation, right? You got to be waiting for your phone ready to hit that notification or you're missing out. So what our bot does is actually executes the trade on your behalf. So they're all swing trading. We have some options bots with automation that are coming in the future as well. But no day trading. We avoid that completely. Our current bot that's in the market right now, which is the name is Momentum, because that's the strategy that it's based upon. That bot holds you in a position on an average of 2 to 5 days. So it's not day trading, but it's quick.
Right.
These are short-term trades. So all based on technical trading indicators, right? Conditional trading logic. There's no AI, there's no machine learning. And maybe Dalton can speak a little bit more to kind of what went into the algorithms.
Yeah, I guess one kind of overarching question I have is, so when you put your money into this automated trading system, are you able to pick or customize your risk level or what you're willing to invest in, or is it completely up to whatever you guys have programmed into the system? Or do you have some sort of decision-making process?
In the very beginning, we gave our users the option to do that. And then we quickly found out that not we're building this for everyone, for the retail trader and for someone who doesn't necessarily know everything about stop losses and adaptive ranges. And we gave our users the ability, and then they would put a 2% stop loss on and get 50 straight losers because that's too small of a drawdown, right?
The risk level
Yeah.
is so low, yeah.
Yeah. So we have taken that away, but we have, we give full autonomy to the users. You can pause the bot, you can edit the bot, you can trash it and take over the position manually. You can put it on a smart exit, we call it. So once it sells, it won't buy back in again. Say, it reached that $80 profit or $80 price target. I'm done with this stock. Smart exit. It's off your watch list.
Okay, so I guess that kind of defers a little bit of the liability off
Yeah.
you guys from feeling responsible for
Yeah.
the
And,
decisions that they're making.
Dylan touched on competitors earlier. We found that the two problems with most of our competition is, one, they're not really doing equities, which is what everyone really knows. Yeah, crypto traders know a lot about crypto, and Forex knows a lot about Forex, but the main person off the street might know that Amazon is a publicly traded company, and so is Walmart, and they want to go get invested in stocks. So that was the first gap, right? We wanted to fill the equities gap, and then everyone's too expensive. They take too much pride in these algorithms. They're charging thousands and thousands. Even these discords for signal providers are charging hundreds a month. So, we came in as the loss leader. We're charging $20 a month quarterly. So $60 quarterly for our one bot now.
Mhm.
And yeah, so the real thing is, we want everyone to be able to trade, right? So we don't want to make it too complicated. That was the other problem. We go by some of our competitors. There's 17 options you have to fill in. You're basically coding your own bot at this point.
Like, what are you paying for at that point?
Yeah, so it's like, man, if like my buddy, James, who's a construction worker, can use Peakbot, but he can't go use some of these competitors.
Mm.
Yep. Yeah. Dalton really hit on something there, right? And that's the fact that this levels the playing field for the active trader and new trader alike. Truthfully, when we started this, boys, we were building this for the everyday Joe Schmo, right? Hey, anybody off the street, you got $2,500 sitting in your savings account getting beat up by inflation right now. Let us do you a favor and put a stock trader in your pocket. Hands-free trading. You're welcome, right? Oh, by the way, like, for nothing, beta, get it in for free. We were like, oh, we got this, world domination. What we found out was not the case. Although you can bring a new trader in here and they don't have to be an expert in the market and they can get their money active and smart. But it's a lift, right? They've never created a brokerage account before. They don't know what stocks to pick. Now, look, we provide a watch list, which we curate every single week, that is built on scanners that have the same conditions that our algorithms do, right? So we can do as much hand-holding as we can, but we're not financial advisors. So we can't pick stocks for you. Truthfully, fellas, this is really a phrase that we've kind of coined recently, is a decentralized hedge fund. That's what this is, truthfully, right? Because you're going to come into the Peakbot app, which I'll show you. We can share our screen in a minute. And the idea is within 3 clicks, choose your bot, choose your stocks, and choose your budget, and hit go. Now, those bots are actively scanning the market, looking for a buy signal, and you'll then get notified from your TD Ameritrade account from your app. Hey, at 12:30, when you're in the middle of a work meeting, or you're on top of a roof, or you're in an Uber, or you're eating lunch, or whatever you're doing, there's a stock trader in your pocket, and you just got notified that you just bought 3 shares of Amazon, and then maybe 2 days later, the same notification that you sold 3 shares of Amazon. Now, maybe this isn't a get rich quick thing, right, guys? This is, not to throw names out there, but just one that people would understand. This is not Wall Street bets. This is, let's get your money off the bench and in the game, right? So to active traders, who we found is truthfully the lowest hanging fruit, because that's who implements this immediately. Anybody who has a TD Ameritrade account that's down 64%, just like the rest of us year to date, they're like, get me in, right? Because we don't need this volatile market, right, to just be the end of us. It's tough. Nobody has the ability to stare at a stock chart all day. And if you do, you got to know what you're doing. And if you are staring at a stock chart and you do know what you're doing, no reason you shouldn't have a Peakbot account trading for you in the background.
Right.
I'll get off my soapbox. Yeah.
No, you're good. Jimmy, do you have I kind of have a question, but if you have one, Jimmy, you can go.
So you go ahead and I'll follow up.
Yeah, so now that we kind of understand the overall premise behind the bot, what is the marketing strategy? Because are you guys in like Discords, or because like if you join a Discord, right, any trading Discord, they're gonna have various bots that they pay for that you have access to as a member. So like, are you guys gonna be rolling out into like, I don't know, like Atlas Trading, try to get an Atlas Trading's Discord, and then they pay you so that their subscribers have access to it? Or is it purely you just want to have people go to the website and subscribe as, retail traders individually?
Sure. Yeah, so great question. As far as the marketing strategy, this is strictly a B2C sale, right? So we're just selling to the consumer. Now, of course, as far as the marketing strategy, we spend a ton of time. We have an entire CRM that's built around influencers, right? And influencers is just a term that we can use because that's really what they are. Active traders with a following across Twitter. TikTok is just huge, honestly, right now. As far as converting leads, that is the place to be if you can figure out that algorithm. And then places like Discord are huge for us too. Reddit, StockTwits. I mean, there's so many different corners, but I'll truthfully, Twitter and TikTok and Instagram is really where we spend a lot of our time because we understand that we can really build a brand, right? Everybody wants to charge you for a video. Hey, we got 200,000 followers, 1,500 for a video on TikTok. We're like, that's great. We'd love to pay you. We can't, right? So we're pre-seed, we're self-funded. We've been at this for 2 years. As much as we'd love to do that, we take a different angle. We say, hey, let's get to know each other here. I think you're going to want Peakbot as part of your brand when we bridge the gap, right? Because I'd love your guys' opinion on this. We're banking on the fact that in 5 years, everybody's going to have an automated trading account, right? Our timing is almost better than anything else. We love our product. We have a stable platform. Our bots produce good results. We're coming with a great user experience at a low cost, but that's all great. Our timing is what we really think is the best of all that there. So, yeah, marketing strategies all over the place, but we really want to drive home the fact that you can be trading while moving freely about your day. So if you go check out hashtag hands-free trading, you'll see Dalton at the Mall of America trading while shopping. You'll see me struggling on my Peloton or cooking breakfast or whatever I'm doing, but we're trading, right? And so it's a game changer for sure.
Yeah, I mean, I think what you guys are building is really cool. I think $20 a month is chump change on the grand scheme of things, considering people are willing to lose thousands of dollars trading on their own. It's funny, Dylan, that you talk about the timing being perfect. I couldn't agree more. I think you caught the wave perfectly where it's like the retail from 2020 is all in the market now. And now in 2022, they're getting demolished.
Yeah.
Now, it's not like 2020, 2021, where you could just throw a dart at the wall and make money. Now you actually have to know what you're doing. No one knows what they're doing, or at least most people don't know what they're doing. A bot like this, I think, is a huge game changer for these people and actually allows them to have more control over their money. And like I said, even the playing field, they can kind of compete with the big hedge funds that already use these super sophisticated algorithmic trading platforms to begin with. So I love this product. I think this is fantastic. I want to try it out.
Excellent.
So off that point, you're talking about you screen stocks, the automated platform buy stocks, things like that. What stocks specifically can one buy off this platform? Is there like a selection of 20 stocks, or is it like any stock on the New York Stock Exchange or NASDAQ? Like, what is the specifics of it?
Yeah. So now might be a good time to share screen. I might pull up my app and show you the answer to your question. Since we're integrated with TD Ameritrade, there might be very few exceptions to this, but any stock that can be traded on TD Ameritrade can be traded on Peakbot. New York Stock Exchange, same thing. ETFs, equities, you can come on and you can, in your search bar, you're going to search for your stock, and it should show up as long as it's.
I thought there was a limited amount of stocks that you could choose from. That
Nope.
makes. What happens if someone chooses like a penny stock?
Well, they're going to trade a penny. They're going to swing trade a penny stock, and our algorithm is going to essentially do its job, right? It's a bunch of if-then statements, right? If the criteria is met, and we're determining that there's an uptrend here, we're going to get in, even if it's at a very cheap stock. We have our users tend to have a wide range of stock price in their portfolio, which seems to balance each other out actually pretty nicely. And you'll see on our watch list that that's spread out pretty nicely as well.
I have one point to that.
Yeah.
And, with the penny stocks and, we recommend that the stock has decent volume and that it's not crazy volatile. You still
Yeah.
have to know your risks, right? We say we're not financial advisors. We give as good of a description as we can to each bot. Right now, we have one in the market. We don't want anyone going and trading these crazy penny stocks because, you can put the bot on it because we can't tell you can't, but we like if it has a decent amount of volume and we have sort of guidelines for each bot. We call them personalities.
Mhm.
Yep.
Yeah, I'd hope that if someone's using a trading bot, they would at least know the risk of trading a stock that has little to no volume.
Yep.
Yeah, and
Yep.
I think like when you talk about following technicals, which it seems like that's what the algorithm really is like a technical trading
Yep.
platform. You really need the volume, I would say.
Wow, this looks nice.
Well, thank you. I knew you would say that.
You guys developed the app itself. Do you have a little background on that, or?
Yeah, so absolutely. So in fact, when we first started, I don't know if you guys can see me or not. It's not necessarily important. I can come on this screen actually. So when we started, we weren't always with TD Ameritrade. So we actually built these strategies on a platform called TradeStation. If you guys are familiar, just another brokerage, been around forever, huge. They actually have an entire marketplace of algorithms and nobody seems to know or care about them. However, so yeah, the app itself was built by us. And again, so what you're looking at here is, it's not in the App Store. This is a web-based app that you can, I'm on the iPhone. I just saved the icon to my home screen. So it's just built in like a regular app would be. By the way, I hope I don't get like totally blown up with texts or anything during this. That would be annoying. Hopefully I'm a loser for the next 20 minutes. Anyway, so yeah, what you guys are seeing here is our app. This is the PeakBot app, and all this does is sends buy and sell signals to TD Ameritrade on the back end. So although you see your active budget there, which I'll get into in a second, know that this money is not in a PeakBot account, right? This is just pulling data from your brokerage account, which you connect to. So of course, I'm already logged into an account here, but this is where you connect to your broker. So you'd be prompt to do this as soon as you logged in with a new account. This is my lovely wife's account that we are trading on. But you can see that we're connected to TD Ameritrade here. So I'm not going to disconnect for any reason, but that's where you would connect and you'd be brought directly to TD Ameritrade to sign in and then give your allowances to PeakBot, basically authorizing the fact that, we can then just basically click the button on your behalf. So if you guys have any questions, like please interrupt. But I'll kind of go through what you're looking at here if that works for you guys.
Yeah, so I guess maybe go ahead, Jimmy.
I was going to ask, I see there's an active budget of $10,500. Do you recommend a minimum amount of money to use in order to make PeakBot really like work well? Like I'm assuming you can't use $50 because that's probably anywhere.
Great question. Dalt, you want to take that?
Yeah, I'll take this one. So obviously margin is a big deal, right? Because we want our traders to be able to clear their trades. Now, we don't suggest the margin is $2,000. That's industry standard, is $2,000 to have access to margin. So I tell my friends and people that are using it, $2,500 to $3,000. Give yourself $1,000 worth of trading with no worries about margin. And obviously, if you want to, you can dive into that margin. But we like that because, as we said, we trade quick, right? 2 to 5 days. If you have to wait 3 days for your money to clear from every trade, the bots aren't going to work as they are intended. But that's just this one bot, right? We have 5 that are coded. We're rolling them out one by one. I am building one currently that's perfect for not having access to margin, and hopefully will work well when fractional trades eventually comes to TD Ameritrade, which we're hoping.
We see it in the backlog. But yeah, so to expand on Dalton's point, really, there's no minimum. And we don't recommend anything. We hate that word because we're not financial advisors. But yeah, yeah. This is not financial advice.
You may not say that all the time when we're doing a podcast.
Yeah, you have to. So if it's not in your bio, you're screwed. Yeah, there's no technical minimum. Our average account size for our subscribers is, as Dalton said, 2,500 to about 20,000. And of course, there's some outliers. who are really into this and have been with us for a year and a half. And in fact, those who are a little bit more heavily invested also have a more diverse portfolio and are seeing the successes of that, right? Obviously, that's one of our golden rules. And we actually have that at the bottom of our app is our must-read guidelines, right? The golden rule is diversify, right? So we know, the data knows, we know, everybody knows you're going to do better if you come in here and trade on as many stocks as possible, right? Because Jimmy, nothing worse than coming in here, have somebody paying us the $20 a month or whatever, 60 a quarter, for them to have 2 stocks on there, right? Like, you are paying us. You gotta cover your ass, as part of my language. You gotta cover your subscription. There's an ROI in play here, right? So we want you to come in and put your money to work, right? You could come in here and get active with $50 to answer your question from before. That's how everybody starts. They're like, algorithm's still not comfortable with it. Let me try one stock. And they buy, 2 shares of Disney stock while they're at work the next day, and they're like hooked. It's like crack, and they're just like, let's do this. So anyway, so I can kind of show you what we're working with here. So as you can see in the top left corner, you have our active budget, right? So that is the amount of dollars that I have allocated toward automation right now, toward my bots. So as you come down here into your portfolio, Momentum is the name of our bot. All right. So you can see that I have 17 stocks in my portfolio right now. So if I was to come down here, you can see all the stocks that I have. You can see the dollar amount that's invested into them. And you can see the status of the bot, all right now being active, right? So that just means that your bot is actively scanning the market for a buy or sell signal. And it'll notify you, just a normal push notification that you'd get from your broker if you were to do it yourself. You get that notification that comes through in the middle of the day.
So how do you know what your limits are for buying or selling on these stocks? So you have, like, you're going to buy $500 worth of Amazon. When will that initiate? Can you see that, or is that just automated?
Sure. Dalt, you can take this if you like.
So it's automated.
Stuff, but sorry.
Yeah, so it's automated. Once you put that, $500 is how much you're putting towards it, right? So if the stock is $460, you're buying 1 share. So, we want people to be able to buy more than 1 share, but there's also, Dylan will show you right now, we have tiers to these bots, and I might get a little long in the tooth here, but we have tiers for multiple reasons. So the tiers cap you at a certain amount of capital allocation. So tier 1, you're only allowed to put $500 per stock. Tier 2, $1,000 per stock. Tier 3 is for the big fish, and you pay more for each tier, is $10,000 a stock. So the first reason we do this is for diversification, right? We want you to put on a bunch of stocks. We don't want you hearing some news about Elon and going and dumping your 20K into Tesla, and that's your life save. It's a bot, but if the stock absolutely tanks, you're going to lose a little bit too. We'll probably lose a lot less, but you're going to lose. And then the second reason is slippage, right? So especially if someone goes and puts on a low volume stock, and we're almost the anti-hedge fund. I know we say we're a decentralized hedge fund. We don't want anyone using PeakBot with $10 million and getting rid of all the profit because they came in and put way too much weight into one trade and moved the market. So those are the 2 main reasons for our capital allocation. And, we think they're forward thinking. Maybe the SEC will like us one day because we're not moving the market too much.
Yeah, you're not manipulating
that much.
Yeah.
I had a quick question. Sorry, Luke, to cut you off. But I see it's like, so $500 for Amazon. Buy, then you sell. As long as it active, is it just going to keep on buying and selling?
It's going to, exactly. You're going to continuously swing trade this stock until you remove it from your portfolio. So I'll show you exactly. So let's just say, okay, I've been trading Amazon for 2 quarters now. Maybe I feel like I've juiced it. I'm done. I want to make room for another stock in my portfolio. So what I would do is I'd come in and I can actually check this box, or I can hit, that's a little junky. We're still, new. Anyway, you'd hit edit status. And now what you're able to do is you're able to come in here. And as Dalton said earlier, you can pause. Ooh, whoa.
Oh,
How about that? Our app can zoom. So you can pause the position, right, which would stop it from either buying if it hadn't bought, or it would stop it from selling if you're in a position. Obviously, you can go back and resume that. But as I was mentioning earlier, if I wanted to get rid of Amazon, I would hit smart exit here. And what that would do is it tells the bot, hey, I want you to remove this stock after you sell me out the next time. So it's going to sell you like you would normally sell. So I would hit save here. And now you'd come down to Amazon and you'd see exiting. So to answer your question, Jimmy, maybe I've been trading this stock for 3 months because it's been in my portfolio. But if I came in here, which this is live, if I was to leave this overnight, which I won't, I'll go back and change it as soon as I finish this next sentence. But if I was to leave that tomorrow morning when the market opens, it's going to be looking for a sell signal. And if it finds one before market close, it's going to sell. I'm going to be notified and I'm going to be done with Amazon. It's actually going to disappear from my portfolio here. I'll then have 16 stocks and my active budget will go down to 10,000 because that $500 has now made room for something else. So now again, I don't want to do that. So I'm going to come back in here and I'm going to just resume it. So now things are back to normal. So what I'd like to show you guys here is the top right corner is where all the magic happens, if you will. And let me take time to just give Dalton and Ben and our team of developers some credit. Again, as we really want to stress the simplest user experience here, whether people are going to like this next sentence or not, we wanted to take the Robinhood approach to automated trading, right?
I was gonna say it looks like Robinhood a lot. Yeah.
I think it also looks a little bit like the Thinkorswim platform at TD, maybe, which would be nice. But it definitely looks like Robinhood for sure.
No one's Robinhood anymore, right? That's like taboo in the trading industry, I guess.
Yep.
Well, you know what? Regardless, and like I said, we won't form much of an opinion, but they changed the game. Regardless, right? Like Robinhood completely shattered the way people traded on this planet, at least in this country. And we see a day very soon where Peakbot's on Robinhood's platform. I hate to sound so cocky, but not that that's easy, but we've done it once and we know how to do it again. So what I'll show you is the top right corner where it says activate. So this is where the whole idea is to set it and forget it, right? You can come in here on a Sunday night, take 5 minutes, look at your watch list or know whatever you want. You come in here. So you're going to hit the big green plus sign. You're going to come on in. You're going to select your bot. Now, I have tier 3 access here. As Dalton mentioned, there's 3 tiers. A majority of our users right now, naturally, are tier 1, which is that $60 a quarter. Just so you guys know, we have different tiers and also licenses. If you wanted to trade 2 bots at a time, you would just pay for a second license, which we anticipate many will have the interest in doing because some of the bots complement each other very nicely, actually. So I have tier 3 access here. Not that I'm paying for it. I built the damn thing, so they gave me access. Finally, this is new. So step 1's complete, right? You're subscribing to the Momentum bot. That's the bot you're going to have. If you had more, you'd give more options there. Now from here, you just want to select your stock. So, I mean, Jimmy, Luke, you can even name a stock. I'll type it in and we'll see this thing go around.
Let's put in TDOC.
All right. So that's what just TDOC.
Yeah.
All right. Teladoc. Fantastic. Is that you like that one?
I did. It was cool back in the day of like telehealth being cool. Like,
okay. Gotcha.
Down sense.
Well, I'm going to stick with you, man. I might even keep this in there. We're going to see, because with Peakbot, I know even if it's bad, it ain't that bad, right? So just so you know, you can also search multiple stocks here, right? So Luke, go for it, dude.
Let's try a penny stock. Let's do a VMNT.
VMNT.
I'm not sure.
No.
Okay, it's not on TD. Never mind.
Dude, you screwed us. I'm skipping you.
Let's go with pen. PENN.
There we go.
Very familiar with that.
Where's my
one.
pen hat?
Yeah, Dalton made all his money when he was riding Penn from 5 to 120. Anyway, sorry, Dalton.
Sorry, I'm a big Barstool guy, so.
That would happen stock though. That is not looking good, but
yeah, it's been killer lately.
Another conversation to have.
Yeah.
Another conversation for you. Erica Nardini has talked about Peakbot. I network in a group of hers, and I got on her podcast from calling into the radio, and I said, hey, how do you engage a group of young professionals who subconsciously know that they should be investing, but are inherently terrified of the unknown? I thought that
Right.
was a great question, by the way, guys. Anyway, got a great answer. I'll clip it to you. Anyway,
TikTok.
you know what? I haven't done it yet because I'm busy launching this business, I guess. So now you have your bot, you have your stocks, you have your budget. Now 400 is per stock, right? And I would just hit activate. Oh no,
Oh, you
I
already have
I'm
T-Doc.
already trading T-Doc. I was on it, Luke, or whoever, Jimmy. So I'm going to activate Penn here. So now what happens is you'll see my bot portfolio went from 17 to 18. So if I scroll down here, you see T-Doc up there, by the way.
Oh, yeah,
Kinda
there it
nice,
is.
right?
Oh,
So
really?
I added Penn at the bottom here. So now this is active. I'll leave this on here, and tomorrow morning it's going to look for a buy signal. And there's I don't know what, 50% chance there's some action on that tomorrow. If not, definitely
Yeah.
by Monday. You're not going to put a stock on here on this bot, at least, and wait a week or two, unless the thing is totally sideways, and we would still somehow find a way to get action. But yeah, so does that make sense how it's now added here, and you can see it's
Yeah.
gone up?
Yeah.
It's super simple. I appreciate the simplicity, and I think this is obviously the angle you guys are trying to take, is to get that average person who's kind of afraid of taking the risk to trade stocks to use this platform.
Yep.
The only question I would have is, I know, like, I use Schwab, for example, right? And I'm very anal about how much money I have into each stock, what are my gains and losses, and the analytics behind it. Are you guys looking into doing maybe like an analytics tab for each individual stock, what your losses are, what your gains are? Or are you want to keep it as simple as possible?
That is in the backlog, Luke. Our devs are on it every day in app results. API has been a bit of an issue for us. We do the data dance in the background to make everything work and look pretty. But in-app results are coming before the big wave of users, I bet, even comes. We'll have in-app results. And just to get in a little bit of the future, the nerd stuff, I'm a big gamer. And I want to gamify this thing. I want challenges. I want you to have different bots. You earn bots. And eventually, if we get the user base we want this thing to be free. We want you to be able to come on here and get bots, and we'll make money elsewhere like everyone else does. But we want to gamify this thing. We don't think it needs to stop at just trading stocks. And one more thing we should touch on. We're only long-sided right now. We have some options bots that are coming, and they'll do both sides, right? Calendar spreads, iron condors, they'll be active on both sides. But maybe we'll pit the bears and the bulls against each other one day in the app, and we'll come out with a couple shorting bots. But then again, with a shorting bot, you need to go get more, authorizations from TD Ameritrade, and there's even more room to lose there.
Yeah, I feel like that's the cool thing about the app, is there's virtually limitless updates you can do to the app. Like, you can add like the analytics, you can add shorts, you can add options. You guys already doing options, you said, or you're working?
The developers are on them, right? So I'm trading them, Ben's trading them, Dylan's trading them, but we're fine tuning at this point.
Okay. So I assume you've tested this model the most.
Oh,
results.
2 years. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So to add to what Dalton was saying, as far as data goes, this is actually relatively new. We've done this for probably the last 6 weeks. And this was during beta. We started this. We have the data on the back end. We know what our bots are trading for you, right? So now our active users, as well as any of our remaining beta testers, they get an email on Saturday, and it says, hey, Peakbot made 76 trades on your behalf this week. These were the stocks that you traded, and your average return was 0.8% on the week, or minus 2.1, or plus 9.8, right? And so transparency, I feel like we didn't scream that roof, which we should have. Transparency is our thing, right? There's nothing to hide. In fact, we tell people, hey, and we've done this, and boy, we're happy we did, honestly, especially in Q2. We said, hey, followers, anybody who has their finger on the pulse of Peakbot, give us a stock. Give us a ton of stocks. We'll back test it, because we can back test all day long. Now, some people are like, screw your back testing. Others are like, well, look, the past does not indicate the future, but we're telling you what our algorithm would have done on this stock during this time period, right? So we can go back and say, hey, if you like these 5 stocks in your portfolio, here's how they did year to date with the buy and hold, and here's how they did with our bot. And I'll tell you, Dalton might kill me for saying this. Most of the time, we love for people to come and stump us. Find a stock, winner or loser, that we didn't do better than, right? I should be careful saying that. Let's maybe scratch that. But it's true, right? We've seen this bot in every market, as crazy as that sounds. We started this in August of 2020. We said exactly what you said, Jimmy. We were throwing darts at stocks and making money. My wife, our friends who have never traded a stock before in their life are PeakBot users forever because they couldn't believe they were making 1% a week doing nothing, right? And of course, that's compounded. That was annualized in that market that was being pumped. Yeah, we were making about 1% a week with a blend of our algorithms. Now, of course, year to date, maybe a little bit of a different story, but I'll tell you what, we're beating the shit out of the S&P, right? Year to date, my Robinhood account, my Stash account, and my Fidelity account are down 64%, 48, 52 respectively. And I'm not alone in that, right? That's a lot of us. Yet I open up my TD Ameritrade account. I'm not in the green, but I'm close, right? I'm down 3.5% year to date. Great. I'm fired up about that. And I hate to put it this way, but in a market like this, PeakBot almost becomes a cheap insurance policy, right? It's like, hey, come on, you might lose, but we are saving your shirt, right? Because, Dalton said this. I hate to be so specific, but Dalton, we were running this when, Elon Musk would come on Saturday Night Live, say something crazy, and then the next day, you better be watching your Tesla stock or you're screwed when you're in the middle of a meeting and your boss won't let you look at your phone. What are you going to do?
Yeah, when he goes on Rogan and smokes a blunt.
Yeah, what are you going to do? That's really what this is built for. And the whole idea behind this bot, and at least our other equities bots, all with slightly different personalities, shorter term to longer term holdings. The whole idea is to get you in on 75% of the uptrend while keeping you out of 75% of the downtrend, right? And so that's the whole idea, right? We're not perfect, but over the course of a month, you might trade Amazon stock 16 times or whatever, 14 times, and win 10 of those 14 trades and walk out with your 2.7%, and you're on to the next one, right?
Yeah.
So
I think what you bring up is a great point. The buy and hold method this year for a lot of people has been bad, and you look at some famous sayings in the stock market, the way to kill it in the stock market is to not get killed. And it seems like if nothing else, having PeakBot, you're not getting killed. Whereas if you bought and hold some of these, NASDAQ recent IPO tech stocks, you got killed. Well, your portfolio is dramatically different.
Yeah. One question I have, going back to the point on data. So right now you're getting basically a list of all the trades, what the app did every Saturday after the week. Is that what happens? No.
We can get it daily, but it is quite a dance to get it on our back end. To be totally honest, we're putting it into Google Sheets and we're running scripts.
It's a mail merge.
Yeah.
But the client is getting that access?
Yes, that client's getting it on Saturday.
Okay. And then the other question I have is,
and you can also, sorry to interrupt, you can also go right onto your TD Ameritrade app, right? See what you're up and down. And it also works with Thinkorswim. So if you go on Thinkorswim, you could see P&L year to date on this stock, which is what we like people to do as well.
So with regard to taxes, right? So that'll all just be on your TD Ameritrade account, all the trades that were made. Do you have a way that prevents wash sales, for example, if you're taking losses every month and then you're rebuying? Or
great question.
Yeah, so wash sales have been brought up a couple times. So mainly the first thing I'll say is this point is the momentum bot is gonna sell during wash sale periods, right? So we're gonna run into little bit of wash sale problems, but there's also, I believe it's capital basis, I think is the word I'm thinking of. I've had a long day. But if you keep getting into that same stock, there's going to be a number of your losses or a number of your
So-
gains.
So as a user, you should see that you're trading that same stock,
Yes.
taking those losses. You should probably do a smart exit. Right?
Yes. And I'm also building, I say I'm building. I'm on 10 different bots a day right now. I'm building a bot specifically to avoid wash sales. If
Okay.
you just exited with a loss, don't buy for 31 days.
Yeah, I
No.
mean, you would hope that the user, if he keeps losing money on one stock, wouldn't.
Yeah.
It's common sense, right?
Hmm.
But I'm sure there's some people that
Yeah.
would just keep buying it anyways. I don't know, but
So there's a
Yeah.
couple things we have to dance around, right? Wash sales. It's going to be short-term capital gains because almost never are we going to have a year-long position.
yeah.
And
which
then
is-
there's the
people have
margin
to accept
requirements.
that. Yeah,
Yeah.
people have
And
to
if you
accept-
can understand, if you can wrap your head around all that, I think you're going to like Peakbot. If someone gets all that, then Peakbot might be for you.
Yeah. So kind of like picking off of the point that Luke's saying, like the idea is like someone who's a user would be smart enough to realize, like, you're getting all these wash sales, I should exit the position. At the same time, it's like,
They wouldn't.
yeah, like you want it to be like set and forget, right? So I
Yep.
guess,
It's like gambling. The more times you play for that, the more you think
no,
you're
but
gonna.
like I guess the question is like, do you alert? Like, is there like a
So yes.
There's an alert.
To that point, we have, and especially, we'll say it, we'll be honest, we have a small user base right now. We can, for a little while, unless something pops overnight, we can look at all our users' data and be like, listen, Chris has been trading Amazon and getting his ass kicked for 2 months. Maybe let's shoot him a message. Let's see if we can get him on the phone. Now, it's not financial advice, but it's, hey, dude, just, your
a look.
taxes might look a little different than you're expecting them to, or, maybe check out our watch list if you haven't looked at it in 3 months.
right? Okay.
And Dalton, we were actually talking to Ben about wash sales earlier today,
Yeah.
and he had an answer. And maybe you guys have to invite us back on for a business update because Ben had a good answer for that question. And he actually said we'd stay out of the hot water for a specific reason. Dalton, I don't know if you remember what it was, but let us get back to you on that. We'll make sure the first comment on this video, wherever it's posted, is the answer to the wash.
Okay.
And he's our CFP.
Okay.
And he's he's an accountant. He's a maniac.
PA.
CPA.
Yeah,
And
I
he's a
remember-
workhorse.
Even me, I think it was 2020. I made so many trades in 2020, and I was like, nah, I didn't do any wash sales. Then I get my tax returns, and I had like $2,500, and I was like, damn. I was like, I didn't even notice.
Mhm.
So it's one of those things. Like it's gonna happen when you're trading every 2 or 3 days. Eventually, you're gonna compound losses on the same
Well,
stock.
I guess the problem is, Luke, if you're playing with like 100 grand versus 10 grand versus whatever.
Well, yeah, I think that's the advantage of them having the limits on
Yeah.
the stocks. That's also
Yeah,
good reducer of risk.
sure, it's a good point.
There's no stone that can go unturned here, right? We have to make sure that everything is done. And truthfully, right, we learn as we go. However, that's definitely something that we're tackling here right away. And we haven't, we've actually had traders live for about a year and a half now, a small group of people who've been trading on this. And so we've made it through 2 tax returns, and we're still here. So that's any inkling.
And
But
to that point, we do piggyback off of TD Ameritrade. It makes some of those things a whole lot easier when they could just go download documents and we don't need to go hire 50 people to make sure our part of our business is, delivering everything correctly.
Yeah, that's a good point. I guess it's really nice that the integration. is-
Yeah. And
Right,
we'd love
and
to
that-
get into more brokerages. It's TD Ameritrade has an open API. We're knocking on the doors of other brokerages, but maybe once we have a bigger user base, they'll be like, okay, let's let these guys in, or let's
Yeah,
take a
well-
look at buying them overall.
Yeah.
Wasn't TD supposed to merge with Schwab like 2 years ago?
Yeah, so that's coming. That's in their backlog. We have a couple contacts at TD because we call way too often that they've almost given us a couple people.
They're like Dalton's
Yeah,
calling again.
Yeah, oh, it's Dalton again. He has a tech question. Oh, okay. Put him on
Yeah,
hold for
there's-
4 hours.
there's an internal Peakbot team. Not kidding. One of TD Ameritrade's customer support reps, who is a license, uses Peakbot. One of our subscribers.
Wow, that's fantastic.
That's
total-
good marketing.
Yeah. But anyway, one thing I also wanted to add too, which I think we failed to mention, look, we know that there's there can be hesitancy around giving the power to a bot to trade for you, right? So to combat that, we do things like this and we take the time. You guys wouldn't believe I'm on the phone with every single individual who has touched PeakBot one-on-one, giving them 30 minutes. Now, I like my closing rate, but it's not scalable. And so what we need to do is obviously pump with results and show them that this isn't too good to be true. Believe it or not, that's our biggest objection that we play with, right? And so ways we combat that, there's a 90-day risk-free trial here. So if you came and subscribed to PeakBot and after 3 months, you just hated it. If you called us Dylan Dalton, we can't stand you. We hate PeakBot. We want our money back. Done. Fine. No problem.
A subscription. We don't cover your trade losses.
Of course, right?
I was
Gotta
gonna-
say that.
If that's the case, sign me up.
Yeah, no, we're
Yeah,
not funding.
yeah.
We're not funding our traders just yet.
Right. And then on top of that, we're actually rolling this out right now. Any individual who creates a PeakBot account and has a TD Ameritrade account with funds in it gets a free 2 weeks of trading. So they don't have to put any money up. You can just get in, create an account, and trade for 2 weeks, and it's going to expire. And we're gonna nail you until you subscribe. But
I have one more point on that. I think this was my idea, so I'm going to put it out there. If you are on your free week, we also have a weekly leaderboard, right? So whoever did the top 3 people every week, if you're a free trader and you win a week, you just got yourself a free quarter, free month. We haven't really decided yet, but good job. You deserved it. You earned it. You picked some good stocks. You trusted the bots. You won the week. Here's PeakBot.
yeah, and you beat people who are paying for it. So
Yeah.
let's get you on the board. And on top of that, look, marketing is everything here, right? Because there's a lot, there's education around this. We have over the 2 years, it took us 2 years to boil it down to 2 90-second videos on YouTube to say, hey, here's how you create your account and here's how you use the app, right? We can send that to people. They can understand this in under 3 minutes. And that's why PeakBot's going to be the household name for automated trading. You guys are welcome. This is a breaking story. But we might be manifesting, but it takes that type of confidence to be able to do something like this. And I think I was going to mention something else, but I lost my point, which is typical. I needed to do that at least once on this podcast. But anyway.
Well,
It happens to the best of us, Dylan.
Go ahead, Jimmy.
Okay, yeah, I was gonna just say, like, when it comes to like developing and rolling this thing out, I have to ask, like, what are the terms of service, legal repercussions? Like, how much of a headache is it dealing with all the red tape?
So again, we got lucky. Ben isn't here. His entire family is lawyers. His father, his sister are lawyers. He
His
was
brother.
almost a lawyer if he didn't fall in love with, accounting and finance
Wow,
himself.
I love accounting. Who would have thought?
Yeah, who knew? Well, maybe it wasn't so much the accounting. Maybe it was the dollar sign at the beginning of it.
Yeah, touche.
Yeah, and great question, right? But truthfully, we designed this business to stay out of the hot water on all that. Right now, we do have our terms and conditions and all of our policies and agreements and everything like that. But between where your trades are being placed is through your brokerage, where you're paying through this is from PayPal, where you're getting your data is where we're transparent. There's nothing that you're not used to using in your everyday life other than the bot itself.
Right. You're literally just a bot that is utilized through these platforms.
Yep.
Right.
Not the actual brokerage platform, which I assume would have tons more red tape to deal with.
Oh yeah. Maybe
Yeah.
one day we'll do that after, maybe 500,000 users or something, but
Yeah, you can start like a peak brokerage or something. I don't know.
yeah, one day maybe.
Well, it's in the Dalton's being a little shy about it. It's in the business plan in the next 3 to 5 years to be our own brokerage.
I mean, it makes sense, right? To link
Yeah.
your bot with your brokerage. Yeah, I mean,
But you know what? Something we didn't touch on. These bots, like we said, we're confident in the market. We're confident in the industry. These bots are going to be a part of everyone's trading in 5, if not 5, definitely 10 years. Data's not going away. It's only getting bigger and better and faster. And, bots are going to be a commodity We think that these trading bots are going to be a commodity. Do we think we have the best 5 trading bots in the world, a 24-year-old and a 28-year-old from New Jersey? No, but they're the best you have access to for next to no money.
Right. I mean, normally, trading bots would cost, thousands of dollars for the
Thousands.
software just to have access to. I mean, the only people that really use them are hedge funds, like you guys
Yeah,
are.
and that's the high frequency trading, and we're not even maybe that's where we become our own brokerage, get into HFT, and that's when you're moving millions in seconds. But
Market maker or whatever they call it.
yeah, I don't know. That's another future thing. But bots are going to be a commodity, and you know what? Do I think I'm the best coder in the world? No, but I put a lot of hours into this, and I've studied a lot of markets, and back tested a lot. And one day I will be happy to hand over the quant position to some guy we hire because we have plenty of users, and he's got a bot that kicks my ass, right? So if you don't like the bot now, see you in a year. You're going to love it then.
Yeah,
Yeah.
how cool would it be to acquire a shell company and then bring PeakBot public? That'd
So
be
many, there was so many of those.
you could trade PeakBot on PeakBot.
Yeah. Ben's gone down that rabbit hole before. He's like, oh, we can make our own, we can make our own crypto coin, and then we could trade our crypto coin on PeakBot and make our own all blah blah blah. Okay.
Well, then he'll have to come after you.
Yeah.
With the crypto.
Yeah.
No, I mean, that's the cool thing is there's just so many things you can do with it. I guess the original obstacle is just getting those, those first, couple hundred or a few hundred subscribers.
Yep.
And then it just, I'm
It's game over.
Dill, talk about the referral program we're running
Yeah.
out right now.
Sure. So going back to marketing is everything. One of the things we're doing right now is called our E100 contest or E100 promotion. So what this is every time PeakBot reaches 100 new subscribers, we're giving away $1,000. Now, the $1,000 goes to the individual one person who made the most referrals for PeakBot in that from 0 to 100, from 100 to 200, 200 to 300. We're giving away $1,000 every 100 subscribers. So here's our transparency at best. Right now, we might have just had a 27th, but I think we have 26 active subscribers. Again, we just launched 3 weeks ago. We're all working full-time jobs and everything else like this. We wish we could put more gas on the fire here. But the whole idea here is, you're going to get $10 for every referral that you make along the way. And then you're going to be put on a leaderboard. So we'll be damned if the individual, when we hit 100 subscribers, not that every single one of them is going to be a referral. They're not. People are just going to sign up for this because they see a TikTok. But
You might win with 7 referrals.
yeah, the person who's going to win this is not going to have put in that much effort. I'm not saying it's easy to get everybody to do this, but that's how we're growing this business. We're happy to give away $1,000 every single 100 subscribers with $10 for everything along the way. And so the leader right now has won. Her name is Caitlin. She's in the lead. And
Shout out
she's my
Caitlin.
early prediction to win the whole thing. Hopefully Caitlin listens to this.
Yeah.
But anyway,
All right, Jimmy, I'm going to refer you just so we can.
See, that's the other thing. It works. You can do that. We're aware. That's
Yeah.
fine. You got 10 buddies, put them all under your name. Go get beers. Go have a dinner.
yeah, it's in play. It's in play.
Yeah.
So
Have you guys looked into doing any other podcasts or not really?
We'll be
So-
honest. Once Dylan talked to you this morning, we talked about, all right, let's reach out to some other podcasts.
Yeah, because we know we've been on a few podcasts of our friends, and we'll shoot you guys a DM. See if
Love
we
that.
amazing.
They have more following than we do. That's for sure. So
Hey, look, we're ready for a press tour from my office here at home.
From my studio in South Dakota.
I just love
Um, one thing I just wanted to mention, and I'm not sure, I don't want to just continue to ramble here, but, the reality is, we used to say this 2 years ago, right? This was my claim to fame with PeakBot was, hey, it's 2020, right? Now it's 2022. I can go on Amazon and have a robot deliver me a package, right? A drone, a little thing that pulls up to my door. I got a robot deliver me a package, yet I can't trade a bot on the stock market when the whole stock market, not the whole, when a majority of the stock market's traded on bots, right? I used to say, hey, I have a couple fingers for that. They're not very nice. Like it's just time, right? It's just time.
And
Yeah.
not
So-
to cut you off, Dylan, but like I think like what you guys are talking about, like the idea that this is going to be a commodity at some point. I mean, I think you're nailing it on the head. Like the GPS was like a military creation back in the
Yeah.
90s, and now it's like, and people were buying GPSs like 2010 for like $1,000, putting them on the car. Now it's just on your phone. Like it just, that's how technology works, right? Just it's like a deflationary curve. I know everyone's favorite investor, Kathy Wood, who's having a shitty year. That's like her preaching thing, right? Everything in technology is deflationary. I think this is a great example of that. And I think you're catching the trend before anyone else is. I don't think people are really like talking about it as much, but it's certainly a product that I could see myself using. And I feel like I don't say that often.
Oh, you're going to use it. You don't have a choice. But no, you're right. You're right, Jimmy. It's a Trojan horse, man. Right? We're over here automating boring old equities trading. Who gives a shit, right? Like crypto, NFTs. Everybody's like, hey, screw your 1%. My 12-year-old's flipping an NFT on TikTok. I'll work overtime. Like, but then anybody who has any idea what's going on, it's actually not just obvious, it's painfully obvious to them, right?
Mhm.
Dalton and I came to, this just came out during a brainstorm session once. Computers were built, okay, in the 70s. When were computers built? Who cares? But computers were built not for YouTube and TikTok. They were built to trade stocks for people. That's it. Like, do you guys remember why this machine was
All
built?
numbers.
It's all
To
banks and shit.
to crunch numbers and get rid of the pink sheets on Wall Street. So it's just time.
And to that point, I said I was in insurance. All your life insurance cash value, all your variable rates. There's no John Smith clicking the buttons anymore. It's all algorithms. If someone does click the button, it's because an algorithm told them to click the button.
Mhm.
So, why can't the retail trader trade stocks hands-free?
Yeah, it's such a good point. You're right. Like it's probably overdue in a way, based on like what everything you're saying is like everything else. All the big boys are doing algorithms.
Well,
Apparently.
yeah, I mean, I think it goes back to the point that the hedge funds and the market, market manipulators, whatever you want to call them, they don't want to give control to the retail traders, which is the whole Reddit, AMC, all
Yeah,
that.
that's gone great for him lately.
Yeah, no, it's because whenever you get retail traders involved trading intelligently, then they lose out. So, I mean,
well-
I agree with Jimmy 100%. I mean, I think it's the future, just a matter of grabbing that market share and getting those subscribers early and then just adapting to whatever they want. It does remind me so much of Robinhood with the impact that it had on retail traders.
Oh
That's
man,
the hope.
we're gonna clip that. Yeah.
That's
So
very
now,
complimentary.
say I feel like we're approaching an hour, and I don't think many of our viewers have the attention span anymore for more than an hour. At least I know I don't.
Yeah,
I
they
got-
don't want automated trading now. They don't want to watch their stocks.
Yeah, there you go.
That's true. Yeah, they're trying to watch our YouTube videos with this with Peakbot. I just got a question just about like the overall business. I know Dylan, you said you guys are pre-seed now. That kind of perked my ears up a little bit. Is there a plan for fundraising? Like, what is like Peakbot's journey? Let's say in the next 5 years, how you guys grow. I don't know if you want to close with like just an overview of how you think this is going to work out.
Yeah, absolutely. And thanks for asking. I'll take my stab at this, and Dol, if you have anything to add, go for it. Yes, we've already gathered interest. We've taken a couple trips. I'm a full-time networker. I'm lining up the cash, baby. But we're being very smart about it. We do not want to accept any capital until we're at about 500 to 1,000 users. As much as we can sit here and think this is the best thing since sliced bread, we'd be silly to take hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars, to pour gas on this fire before we know that the world wants it and is ready for it. And so as far as the plan for the next 3 to 5 years, it's going to be continue to nail the user experience, provide bots that provide consistent results, and either expand our brokerages or become our own. And the goal here, the solo goal, is to become the household name for automated trading. Why? Because there's not one.
That's
Great
fantastic.
pitch.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, if you want to talk about VC stuff, I mean, today Figma was bought by Adobe.
Yeah. Oh my
You look at some of the VCs that got in like 2015, 2016, they bought it at like 8 cents a share, cashed out today at over $40 a share. Nice 500x return.
I can't believe they paid
years.
20 bill for that.
I can't believe it either, but people, I mean, if anything, it shows confidence again in like the venture markets, right?
Well,
Oh yeah.
yeah, I was also going to say, like, the great thing about your business and what you're building is it's not super cash intensive to build the platform that you're building. I'm sure the most money you guys are spending on is developing the actual software and the app
Yeah,
and marketing, obviously. But I mean,
Yeah.
it's not,
And data.
yeah, so it's not like you guys necessarily need investors, I would say, but it will, I'm sure, blow up the process once you do.
Yeah, and that's
Yeah.
the other point, right? If we bring in investors now, we got to give up 40%. Let's
Yeah.
wait a little bit. Let's see if we can guerrilla market this thing to
Grind
where
it
we want to
out,
be.
yeah.
Yep.
Well,
And we're trying to hit all the streams. We're on Twitch, we're on YouTube, we're trying to get people to review it. We're on this nice podcast here. We're doing everything we can to spread the word without dumping $1 million into advertising.
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, like, so I've worked for like VC-backed companies pretty much like my entire career, and it seems like what everyone does is, like you said, they kind of prove the concept and then pay a CTO a shitload of money to get the dev team and ramp it up. And I think, like, you've been doing a great job, like you said, Dalton, but like you said, if someone comes in, you
Please.
pay him, build a bot better, that's probably like just how it levels up. And I just can't wait to see what happens with you guys, to be honest. I don't know what to say. Like, I think this is like a sick product. I think there is a real demand for it. And I think that, like you said, the iron is hot right now. It is hot.
Yeah, it is.
Gotta strike it. Looks like you're doing it.
Yeah.
Appreciate
Well,
that.
thank you so much, guys. I'll tell you what, I got good news for you. You won't have to guess at how it goes for PeakBot. You'll be right there on the journey with us. And we'll see you at the peak. That's our phrase, so you know.
Well, we really,
slogan.
really appreciate you guys coming on. If you guys want to just plug your social medias and where everyone can find you,
Sure.
we'll end this thing.
Yeah, absolutely. So our website is usepeakbot.com, PEAKBOT.com, and you can find us on our socials at usepeakbot.
We're
Great.
trying to buy PeakBot. It was a fundamental medicinal study from India or something.
Yeah.
We'll get them one day.
Well,
Thanks, fellas.
thanks so much for coming on, guys. We really appreciate
Thank
it.
you
Well,
so
thank
much.
you both. Good luck with everything.
Thank you.
All right, guys. Take care.
Bye-bye.